So Scorpio, this is your tarot reading for the month of December. Now, I suppose the other zodiac signs, some of them it would seem that the global events that I've been speaking about for months have become more personal events. Not for all signs. Sometimes we can see these global events very much at play. But for other signs, they become much more personal. Now, I don't know what's the case for you, and I'm often surprised by I get to the end of the reading how my view changes. What I can say is, looking at your spread, it looks a very good spread. Whilst I understand what everything's saying, I can't for the life of me see a story in it at this moment in time. So let's start at the beginning, the central card. The central card is the card that tells us what it's all about and what dominates it. Ace coins. You're either going off looking for money or new money is coming to you. So it seems like the reading is about money, but none of the other signs would really suggest that. In the past, we have the Queen of Wands. I mean, she's a likeable queen. She works well with other people and people are very happy to work with her. But she does have a tendency to use other people. And given that a cycle has changed and a new one has begun, this is exactly the sort of energy that you shouldn't be displaying in this cycle. I'm not suggesting that you are, but it's possible. You certainly feel the need right now to go inside yourself and look for answers. There's no harm in that. These have been tumultuous times. But you can, like me, overthink, and that's not a good thing. In the future, and the outcome as well is a good outcome, but in the future it couldn't be better, Multiple blessings, particularly it looks like happy families. But multiple blessings. There's a celebration that leads to the outcome. Celebration probably with friends. Don't know what you're celebrating. But, if we are talking of happy families, then why not? What would change the outcome is you going off on a new journey. Going off on a new journey with a wide-eyed innocence. And we have a cycle ending and a new one beginning. Now, I've been spotting a second cycle ending and beginning. So I think this is on top of the one that happened, say, around August. I think this is a new one we're talking of for you here. So very, very interesting. I mean, that's normally associated with luck. It's normally a good thing. So very interesting energies. Stay with me, Scorpio. We need to unpack them because I haven't got a story yet. And now the overall energy is that of the Ace of Pentacles. I normally associate this as you either looking for money or gaining new money. I've been perplexed by this card cropping up here in December because, there are so many moves to do away with physical money that I don't know quite what to make of it. Do we succeed, those of us who are resisting it, in changing the minds of those in power through our very resistance to using their alternatives, which are supposedly easier and more convenient? I don't know what could be easier and more convenient than a piece of paper or a coin, Anyway, so I don't know what to make of it, but I do think that it suggests that this reading is about money, even though there's little else to tell me that it's about money. But I need to bear this in mind as I'm looking at all the other energies. And so I need to reflect on the other energies with this idea that it could be all about wealth and money. Past we have the Queen of Wands. I mean, she's a lovely queen. People love her. She works with other people and people gladly follow her. She knows how to get the best out of people. But at its worst, this can be somewhat abusive of others. And now, to a certain degree, that's what characterised the last cycle. Now, I'm not necessarily accusing you of it, nor am I accusing you of doing it in this cycle. But there's always the possibility with this card that that's how you were. And I guess there's a fine line between getting the best out of people and using them. And I wonder if you know which side of that line you are even. And I wonder if that's what you're deep in thought about now. Were you the right side of the line between getting the best out of people and using them? Because you're deep in thought, you're exploring your own thoughts rather than the outside world. Probably a very good thing to be doing at a time of major change like this. Reflecting on your own part in what was wrong with the last cycle and how you can change for this cycle. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's probably nothing wrong in having used people in the past cycle, providing you now repent. Is that what it's about? I don't know. It's no bad thing for you to be internal and reflective. I mean, I meditate all the time. But I do tend to overthink things, and that is a potential pitfall of being like this. And the future looks great, I mean, as does the outcome, so the future looks great. 10 of Cups, I mean, multiple blessings. But especially to do with families, You look at this, well, they're both dressed beautifully. They've got their arms round one another, absolute love. 2 children also dressed beautifully, playing. They look to live in a beautiful place with a little house on a hill. A bit like mine, I suppose. Although I'm in Java, so there's many other houses around it, but yeah, looks idyllic, doesn't it? Looks great. The future looks good for you. I'd certainly say that. And there's a celebration, probably with friends. I mean, it could be with family. Going out and having a good time, maybe even. That leads to the outcome. I mean, maybe it's just saying that we need to enjoy life a bit more, make light of life. We've all been through some terribly depressing, serious times. And maybe this simply reflects that we should enjoy ourselves a little bit more. How can we create a new universe if all we're thinking is bad thoughts? No, it's only through love and thinking good thoughts that we create something new and wonderful. So maybe maybe I shouldn't read anything into it, but I can't help but thinking, what on earth are you celebrating? It's what I'm going to get clarification on, isn't it? Yeah. Now, what would change the outcome is you going off on a new adventure with a wide-eyed innocence. Given that I see the outcome as good, but I also think that this sort of full energy is an appropriate energy, but clearly not for you right now. I think this celebration is about you co-creating, and therefore going off and doing something different is taking you further away from where you should be in this cycle. So whilst I do see the Fool, it's admirable to have a childlike innocence, and indeed for co-creation you need that innocence, you need that playfulness. But maybe you're way beyond it, because this does look like a great reading, like you really do understand what you need to understand. And the end card is the Wheel of Fortune. So the ending of a cycle, the beginning of a new one. Now, as I say, this happened for, I believe, all of us in August. So to have this again, I'm certain this is a new cycle, and quite a few signs we have had this for, that another cycle comes to an end and starts. And it's sort of taking you even further than this love and compassion. It's taking you to truly understanding what you should do. And it's normally associated with luck as well. So I really do think, Scorpio, you're very advanced here. Very advanced. Maybe I should also reflect on, the past, where I said maybe you were using people. Because in this new cycle, and goodness knows what this new cycle is, but in this new cycle we have to work with others. And you are someone who's very good at working with others. Maybe you never use them. Although there is the Hermit card, whereby you're thinking things through. Maybe you've had to think through your relationship with others. But no, I get very good vibes from this reading. I'm going to get some clarity, however. And I'm going to get clarity on this Three of Cups, this celebration. What are you celebrating? It comes as a bit of a surprise for me. First of all, we get the Eight of Cups. You walking away from something, becoming disenchanted and walking away. I'm sure that's to do with the previous cycle. Maybe you did use people a little. The second card is the Two of Swords, a decision to make. And I think this is the decision to cast off your old life. And the final card is the Nine of Pentacles. Card of abundance, a card of self-sufficiency. Card of multiple blessings. We had a multiple blessings before, didn't we? We had the 10. 10 of Cups. And now we've got here celebrating the Nine of Pentacles. She's by herself. Well, he's by himself. Is this a divorce she's celebrating? I mean, it could be. I don't know. You're self-sufficient. I don't know. I think you just leaving the old cycle behind. That's my candid view of it, but I'm not sure. Now, the first card of clarity is this Eight of Cups. Being fed up with something, had enough of something, walking away from it and into the unknown. You can see him dragging his chain there. Did you feel like you were chained to something? Now, I did suggest earlier that maybe you were walking away from a relationship. But I've got that. It might be relationships, or if it is a relationship, it's not a very important one. Because that Ten of Cups card is in the future. So you're not walking away from that. No. You're celebrating the fact that you're walking away from your old life. And the only thing we know about your old life is the Queen of Wands, which may suggest that in the past you used people a little. I know no more about it than that. There's no judgment or justice cards in this. In fact, the 10 of Cups suggests that you're getting blessings, as indeed does the 9 of Pentacles. Oh, and in fact, the outcome, the Wheel of Fortune. So whatever you've done is pretty minor, but I think you've resolved to change with this cycle. Yeah, and we've got the 2 of Swords. So for you, it's important. It's an important decision, and I think that's why we had the Hermit card. You had to look inside yourself and say, what are my feelings? What is my heart telling me to do? And whilst your head might have said, carry on with how the old cycle was, your heart is saying, no, embrace the change, move on to love and compassion, to truly working with people, not using people. And that's what you choose, and that's why you celebrate it. And this celebration and this choice of yours will help you to create a better world, not only for you, but for everybody else. And yeah, we have blessings, the 9 of Pentacles. Multiple blessings, particularly monetary blessings. But maybe by yourself. Now, if you remember, we started with the Queen of Wands, which suggests that you're surrounded by people. You get the best out of people, but maybe use them a little. And maybe you're choosing now to be a bit more selective in who you are with. Now, I don't think it's a bad thing, because in the future we have the 10 of Cups, which suggests happy families. So, I don't think you're sort of choosing to be absolutely by yourself, just to be a bit more discerning, and in doing so, I suspect you find love. It's looking like a lovely reading. I think we can summarise. And this is a very interesting reading for you, Scorpio. Scorpio, very interesting reading for you. You are aware that a cycle ended and a new one has begun. In that last cycle, you were quite adept at working with others, getting the best out of them. But you know that things have changed, and you're going inside yourself and saying, where is the line between getting the best out of people and using them? And you've been exploring that. And as a result of you exploring it, the world is going to reward you in multiple ways, including monetarily. And you actually celebrate the fact that you're going to change. You're going to reject your old life and move on to a new life that's about respect for others, a life that's about love. And it's been quite an important decision for you. I mean, you've not taken it lightly. To a certain degree, you're going to choose to be more alone, not to be more discerning about the people you have around you. Even though you know that you have to work with others, and the new era is about love, etc., it's not about having shallow friends, and I think that's what you're moving away from. So you actually celebrate that, and the universe is going to reward you in many ways. As I say, you're aware that a cycle has ended and a new one has begun, but you're getting another cycle. Quite a few signs are getting it, so I don't know if we're all going to get it, but it normally brings with it luck as well. And you will receive blessings, I think, monetarily, but also you're probably going to find happy families. Now, I don't know if it's a new love or just with your existing love, but I can certainly see happy families in the future for you. So a lovely, lovely reading on all counts for you, Scorpio.